Hi, this is ZaftigWendy, and I want to show you my favorite cast-on for doing socks and other things that have to have a really stretchy cast-on, like hats and so on. It's called the Twisted German cast-on, although one of my friends calls it the Twisted Drunken German cast-on because it's kind of a little weird and off. But it's not that hard to do, and it's kind of fun, and it's really stretchy. So let's go ahead and I'll show you. You're going to start with a long tail, like you would with a long tail cast on. You want enough yarn to knit a whole row, plus a little extra for weaving in ends, and a little more extra for just being paranoid. So I'm going to pull out, I've got about a yard of yarn here, and I know you can't see the whole length in this view, but it's a yard. I'm going to take the end and just drape it over my needle. You may not know this, but you actually don't really need slip knots to do most cast-ons in knitting. That little piece draped over the needle is actually the first stitch. You see, if I close it at the bottom, it's a loop around the needle. The next one will close it, and so this is actually going to be stitch number 1. Then I'm going to hold my yarn like I'm doing a long tail cast on, so I'm kind of assuming you already know how to do that. I'm going to hold both yarns together, put the thumb and forefinger between, and then I'm pulling back on the yarn to make a little sort of slingshot. You see my slingshot there? Now, if this was a regular long tail cast on, what I would do is go through this loop on the thumb and go up through here, and then finish the rest of the stitch. But instead, the twisting part happens right here. Instead of going into the thumb loop, I'm going to cross behind it, and then I'm going to go back into it from the top. You see? Then I'll reach that whole thing over here to where my finger is. Grab the loop off the finger, pull that down, and I'm going to pull that back down through the thumb loop, and then let go and snug it up just a little. I don't want it to be squeezed against the needle so hard that it flattens anything. I want it to have some looseness still. Then I reset my hands again back in that slingshot, and then again under the two halves of the thumb loop, back in the thumb loop from the top, over to the finger, grab that, pull it through. Sometimes if you want to, you see the little triangle right here? I can pull that finger loop through that little triangle and then pull it up, and it makes a pretty little sideways loop underneath the needle. Okay, so let me do it again. Under the two, back into the thumb loop from the top, over the finger loop, out through the little triangle, which is actually the thumb loop, and steady it up. Then again, under two, back over one, over to the finger, pull that through, and snug it up. Okay, once you get a little more experience, you can do this fairly quickly. And you just get to a point where you can just pull them through without a lot of fussing around. And you see it makes it pretty, to me, I think it's very attractive, little row of double bumps underneath there. It doesn't quite look like pearls, but it's a really attractive little edge. There we go, there's another, and another. When you get to the point where you have all the stitches on that one needle that you need, if you're working with double pointed needles, you actually can just let go of that needle, pick up another one, and do the next stitch. I kind of holding the full one down here in my hand and the empty one in thumb and forefinger here. It's sort of like chopsticks, but it saves time later because I don't have to slide any stitches around. And I can just continue with the new one, up under, back down through, get the finger loop, pull it up. Once I have that on there, I don't have to hold the first needle anymore. I can just continue casting on with only the second one. And I can do that until I have my entire sock cast on. See? That's all. That's how you do the twisted, drunken, German, crazy Norwegian cast on. It's fun, it's pretty, and it's very stretchy. That's all. See you later. Bye.